Welcome back! I'm Captain Xavier and I have returned from my trip to Europe. I've been back about a week. It's taken me this long to recover. The fact that it's 95 degrees here has not helped. There is a fan going, that's the noise. Come to grips with this. I've been hiding out in my air-conditioned house since I got home, sleeping mostly. The jet lag going there didn't bug me at all. The jet lag coming back has thrown me for a loop. It's been strange. Anyway, this is going to be a fun video. It's going to be a fairly long video. There's a lot to cover. I went to a lot of places. I went to 7 countries altogether. One of them 3 times. There was a lot of loot. I met a lot of awesome people. I saw a lot of awesome things. There will be video footage of most of the Nerf wars I went to. I don't know that I got them all, but I got some footage from most of them, I hope. Lots of pictures of cool things I saw. Well, then it'll all get thrown in here, and of course, I'll go over much of the loot. It was absolutely amazing. So yeah, it was about 2.5 weeks. I first flew from Seattle, Washington to Dublin, Ireland, and ended up getting stuck there a day. My flight to Amsterdam got cancelled, so I got 30 hours in Dublin. So I went and took a look at Malahide Castle. And Swords Castle, which were fairly close to my hotel. I walked to Malahide from my hotel, and that was a mistake! It was further than I thought. Then I figured out public transit for the next day, and Swords was much more reasonable. But both very, very cool castles to see. Then flew to Amsterdam, got picked up by the Dutch, and they were wonderful, awesome people. I got to travel on their trains. I was very fortunate that the first person I stayed with worked for the transit system, and so a lot of things that would have been a lot more difficult were smooth because I had him to mentor me, and I cannot thank him enough for that and for hosting me. That was the other thing, is vast majority of the places I stayed, I only stayed in, I think, 3 hotels and then a dorm during Foam Fest. Everything else I was hosted by members, by fans, by members of the auxiliary who were willing to give me a floor to crash on, and in one case, a tent to sleep in. We'll get to that. Getting ahead of myself. Anyway, went to a Nerf war in the Netherlands at an airsoft arena, and here's some footage from that.
One behind the window, sorry, I'll fix it in English. He's upstairs.
Yeah. Go, go, go! Is someone there?
What's the matter?
Ja? I'll go!
Super cool. Turns out the Dutch Nerf very similar to the way we Nerf here in the Pacific Northwest. It's all relaxed and cool, and everyone's having fun, and nobody really is overly worried about winning because they rotate through things so often, and it was very, I felt very much at home. It didn't feel like any weird, difference in the culture of play, and that was really, really cool to see. We did do 2 rounds of HVZ, which was a really cool. They had an awesome set of gizmos where you had 4 nodes you had to plant, and then a center node. Then you had to plant the 4 outer ones and turn them on, and then activate them, and then activate the center one, and they would all connect up by Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or what have you. There would then be 3 malfunctions. You didn't know which ones were going to malfunction. It could be the same one 3 times. It could be 2. It could be whatever. You had to reset the nodes that had malfunctioned, and then the center one would finally activate, and that would be a human victory. Problem was, we used the entire arena, and the nodes were too far apart to actually sync up, or there were too many walls in between, and so it didn't actually connect, and we just slowly got wiped out. Watch your back! Watch your back! Yeah, got me! The second round we used a much smaller area, and they did connect, and I also at that point organized the humans a lot more, and I don't think we lost any humans, which is often how HVZ goes. Either a complete wash for the humans, or a complete, you know, an utter waffle stomp by the humans. But it was really neat because more than a couple of the Dutch and the people that were at the event noted that it was really, really cool to see me go from Chaylo, who was just there to have fun and nerf and just you know, be on a team and run amok and fling foam and all of that. But as soon as we did HVZ, I went full captain.
All right, let's get 4 people or 5 people, 1 on each of those. I need a vanguard, I need a rear guard. The rest of you will be in the middle. People with reliable semi-automatic in the rear. You're on point then. Shotgun's on point, you're guarding the packages. The rest of us are holding rear guard. Move quickly, and we cannot hold ground. We have to keep moving. There's no way for us to stop the zombies, they just keep coming. So we're going to move as quickly as possible, going clockwise, plant each one. We will then move to the center, wait for them to make their beepy noises, and then we will move to the one beeping, and so on and so forth. We're going to stay together. We are going to watch your corners, watch your sectors, watch your corners, check your mags, communicate.
And organize everything and all of the leadership and all of that. And they noted that it was really cool to see that change and to truly then understand that, no, captain is a role that I step into. I'm not the captain all the time. I'm only the captain when I need to be, especially when there's zombies about. And so that was a lot of fun. And it was neat to have for them to get to see that. So loads of fun. There was cool stuff. I was given loot. One industrious fellow provided me with magazine magazine adapters, caps, extenders for the Nightingale magazines. I got 5 of them with my logo. I don't know if you can see it, but it's on there. They also gave me 5 to give to Dr. Flux with his logo. Super cool. They gave me a Dutch flag to add to my collection because I have now nerfed in the Netherlands, so I have a Dutch flag. I was given a book, The Last Days of New Paris, because they know I like books and have books in my collection. I was given a bunch of different patches while I was there. Blaster Time was there, representative was there, so I got some Blaster Time merch, as well as some Low Rhine mechanical artworks and foam dart marksmanship from Low Rhine. Very cool, I got to meet them. Didn't get to see their workshop, that's on the list for potentially another trip. I got some stuff from a Shadow Archery, who I believe also works for Blaster Time. I could be wrong about that, but cool patches there. And some auxiliary patches, as the founder of the auxiliary. They gave me, I, again, don't know how well you can actually see that. Yeah, cool stuff to add to the patch wall. I then did also acquire a blaster. I went to a thrift shop in the Netherlands that they said they've been going to constantly and had never gotten anything. We went there, and there were 2 blasters. This and a messenger.
I am at the Dutch equivalent of a Goodwill.
It's called Swift.
Swift. Welcome.
Sorry.
Switch. We're gonna see what there is to see. Alright, the marbles I get. Why is there a mannequin arm in here? Dubious. Suspicious. Weird. I have found the Nerf.
We found something.
Behold the Nerf. There's another one. Cool. I don't know that I've ever seen this one before. I'm taking this one.
I get this one.
Alright.
I get this one.
See? That's why you should go thrifting with me, man.
You can leave, sir. You just can't leave.
And so my host picked up the messenger, and I picked up this little one just so I would have another blaster should I need it. But I ended up picking up even more. The only blaster that I brought with me was a string-powered blaster because I didn't want anything with metal parts because I wanted to be able to take it through. I didn't want to have to check a bag, and it turned out didn't work out that way. But still, I was also given a 5x5. These are actually very rare in the U.S. They are apparently not rare in Europe. Everyone seemed to have one. But this one has a metal hammer kit, and this barrel I actually didn't pick up until Germany. We'll get to that, but had another good blaster for future Nerf wars, which did come in handy, I think. I also I packed light. I packed only a small suitcase. I neglected to take into account how much loot I was going to be given, so I was given a backpack in the Netherlands to carry all of my loot. And it's a good thing I did, because I stuffed it by the end of the trip. From there, I took some trains, some more, got back to Amsterdam, and took, well, after another day delay, I ended up missing my first flight because of security and being a fool and not putting my blasters in my checked luggage. And so I ended up missing my flight and having to stay in a hotel again and then fly out again the next day to Denmark. And that was awesome. I was picked up by some wonderful people who took me to their LARP house. They have a house. They are professional LARPers. They do all kinds of events and big events, and they've got workshops, and it was absolutely an amazing place. Here, look, I think I got pictures. LARP Clubhouse, absolutely the most amazing thing ever. And then I nerfed with the Danes at first 3 different places. First at a paintball field. There's that.
Covering. He's right around that wall. Push, push, push. Go, go, go. Covering. Reloading. Game.
They did an absolutely amazing event where there were 2 teams. One was defending and one was attacking. The defenders had 1 life per respawn point, and when you got taken out, you had to respawn at the previous one. And so once everyone was wiped out, you had to move back, basically. And slowly but surely, the attackers would push them all the way back to their last respawn and then take them all out. The attackers had infinite lives, and it was just how long did it take you to do it, and then you switch sides and do it again. When we were on defense, we held them for, I believe, 39 minutes.
Yeah, still up. They're pushing on the...
Yeah, I see.
12 o'clock on yours.
Took a land forever.
Yeah, because they're not being nearly aggressive enough. For having infinite lives, they're not nearly reckless enough with theirs. Are we getting pushed back?
Yeah, I lost my life.
Yeah, but that appears to be full of nettles. I don't want to go in there.
And we wiped them out in 15 when we were the attackers, so that was pretty cool.
Ooh!
There's a beehive in there.
Oh. Well, then I'll get clear of this in a hurry. Okay, go, go, go. Covering. Pushing up. it. We need some grenades.
I was given grenades. They have grenades. These are actually used in these were used in the Netherlands too, but I didn't have any, or I don't think I did. And they're 3D printed and then have some metal hardware, and they take just a standard like toy red percussion cap for like cap guns that you put on there, and then you throw them, and if they land either way head first should set it off, they'll go bang. And the general rule is if you can see it when it went off, if from where you were you had a line of sight, then you're dead. And that was pretty cool because that lets you do a lot of things that you couldn't do otherwise, and it definitely added a new dynamic. They were also big on smoke grenades. I got to throw smoke grenades, and that was just fun. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. The next place we nerfed was, I'm not sure what it was. I think it was just an industrial park, but there were like piles of junk and containers and buildings, and I didn't get any video footage from that one, but I did get this picture. And that is me carrying a grill lid as a shield and wielding this FDL, which I was lent, and they mentioned that they were looking to sell it, so I flung money at them because I did not have a half-dart compatible FDL. And the one I have is full length. And also, I only had the semi-automatic tail. This is the select fire. So now I've got a fancy half-dart select fire FDL, official FDL even, and that was pretty cool. Definitely need to put a new muzzle on it for these states, and probably add some more orange. Needs more orange. But that was pretty cool. I was also, I believe it was there that I was given some mag pouches that did not work for the person who was using them, but they work great for the Nightingale mags and for Rival mags, but they don't run either of those, so they handed them off to me, and I'm sure I will find use for them. I did get patches. I got Viking foam arms patches. I think this was from there. I'm not sure where this one came from. And then Fire Team Wolfruna. Very, very cool. In my colors. Mostly LARP, I believe. Very, very cool. I then... where did I go from there? Lego House. Or no, we went to Copenhagen and saw... Oh wait, no, there was one more Nerf war. Good. I did a lot on this trip. There was another Nerf war the next day for an after-school program. That just happened to be scheduled for the day that I was there, and so I got to meet a bunch of little kids and Nerf with them. And it was really, really fun. Very, very cool scenarios they designed. HVZ was a big one there as well. And it worked well, and I enjoyed it.
No! Ha! Oh! I'm hit! Rescue me!
Oh no!
Tag me, tag me, tag me!
Yeah, here!
There you go! He's over there! Get him! I got him! Oh no, they're back! They're back in! They're back in! Watch it! They're up that way! Oh, I'm hit! Nice shot! Get me! Shot. Back in! Oh no! You still in?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, he got me. Hey, hey, hey! Tag me in, tag me in! Who's still in?
Here is a Mexican stand.
Over here! Tag us in! Tag me in, tag me in!
Even with an upgrade,
Yes!
my dude.
We are surviving. We're surviving.
Get him!
Then we went to Copenhagen and went to the nerd quarter of Copenhagen. They have an entire street that is nothing but nerd shops. Like, it started out as one, and they've gotten so popular that subcategories got broken into their own shops. So it was one whole shop that was just Warhammer 40k, one whole shop that was just anime, one whole shop that was just tabletop games, like board games, one whole shop that was just LARP stuff. LARP, look at the LARP stuff. I wanted to spend so much money, but I knew I had no room in my luggage. I've been inspired to acquire some decent LARP weapons as a result. I'll be looking into some options there. Absolutely fantastic and amazing. We then got on a train, and we went to Billund, and I visited the Lego house, the promised land. And it was glorious and awesome. It was a lot of fun. I got lots of pictures. Here's pictures, and probably some video.
And I've arrived at the promised land. This is so cool.
argument is invalid.
I got my own custom, one-of-a-kind, or I assume it's one-of-a-kind, 6-piece combo. So they have a Lego, one of the machines that makes Legos just in the lobby, churning out 2x6 or 2x4 red bricks. And you get a bag of 6 of them, and then you poke a button on a machine, and it prints out a little card with your name and a unique 6-brick combination. The instructions for 6-brick combination. There are apparently over 900 million possible combinations, and you get one unique one. So that was pretty cool. I was then given some cool stuff by a Viking, or at least he looked like a Viking. Big, bushy, red beard, cool guy. I was given this, knitted by his wife. Just, I don't know what to do with it, but it's just so cool. So cool. And then some very, very old Legos. These are official Lego that actually says Lego on them, on the inside rather than on the pips. This is pre-Lego on the pips. These are like from the 50s. These are 70-year-old Legos. And an old Lego box. Not actually for those bricks, but just, yeah, super, super old and amazing and cool. And I was also given this blaster, the Ultimate Clip Blaster, which is apparently quite ridiculously rare. I've only ever seen one before, and that was in Wacom's collection with the magazine, and it's the clips on it are breaking in the same places that they apparently always break, and are in fact broken on wall. Or at least one of them's broken on Wacom's. Really, really cool blaster. So yeah, I think I now have the entire Ultimate Clip series? Question mark? I don't actually know how many there are, but I've got a lot of them. Very, very cool. Very, very kind to give me that train. I got to travel on a lot of trains on this trip, and that is not a train. I was wrong. It is a train. Just sounded like a helicopter for some reason. I traveled on a lot of trains, and I wish so much that I could take a train from Vader to either Seattle or Portland. It would make my life so much easier because I do not like driving. Trains go by here every day, multiple times a day. Can't get on them. The nearest train station is either a half-hour north or a half-hour south, and that's halfway to wherever I would be going. And it's just not worth the effort at that point, or the cost. So, trains! I want more trains. Anyway, speaking of trains, I then had to get out of Denmark the next day. Stayed the night at a wonderful, wonderful place. Couple that hosted me, designed it themselves and built it themselves, and it was absolutely gorgeous and just svelte. We played Carcassonne and board games, and it was a wonderful night. We had root beer floats. They had acquired A&W root beer from somewhere, and I got to introduce the Danes to root beer floats, and they thought they were weird, which they were. Didn't have as much sightseeing in Denmark. There was going to be a whole day just of sightseeing, but only got a little bit of time before my train. Did have a lot of sightseeing in the Netherlands that I've forgotten to add, but I can do that retroactively. Ha-ha! Sightseeing in the Netherlands!
Right. We have 3 kinds of cheese here because apparently there's a there's a grudge match, a cultural divide about the cheeses. One fine fellow here advocates for this cheese, the other fine fellow over here advocates for this cheese, and this cheese is the control group. So we're gonna try some cheese.
So this cheese,
It's Old Amsterdam.
it's Old Amsterdam. Well, basically you do taste Old Amsterdam. That's the whole vibe they're going for here. It's a old aged cheese, and according to Roland, it's chemically enhanced, which I think makes it taste better.
Science.
Science, obviously, you know.
the future.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you make innovation. So yeah, try it. Totally no pressure to be positive now.
A certain sidewalky.
Do you taste the cardboard that's in there?
It's actually got a hint of, I don't know, it tastes like American cheese, which is not a good thing. It's very good though. I like it.
Maybe I should move to America then.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get the pre-wrapped stuff that you could also use for, fixing your grout.
Did you take the plastic off or?
Just buy
It's normal cheese.
Yeah.
This is the palate cleanser too.
Yeah.
That's why there's holes in it too.
It's soft.
Do you feel your palate cleansing right now? Do you feel the holes doing your work?
I feel myself becoming more cultured by the second. By cultured, I mean I will probably have diarrhea in that. Because that's what happened when I ate the cheese platter in France.
Oh.
All right, we're gonna try the Beanster now.
It's old.
So your face is, you seem much more enjoyed than with the previous cheese.
This is much better.
Okay, so we should not mention Old Amsterdam in the tag of the movie. Sorry, guys.
Your loss is better, mate.
No, there's no accounting for taste, as they say.
True.
What does an American know about cheese? One of them windmilly things you've heard stories about. I want to joust it. I want to joust against it. I don't have a horse. I do have a bike, but I don't have a lance. I'll have to find a lance. I'll find a way. Like I said, I'm still not all here. Anyway, had some trouble getting out of the Netherlands or out of Denmark. All of the trains to Germany were completely booked. Luckily, a friend of mine from high school, I hadn't seen him since high school, he was a German exchange student, came up to visit the Lego house with us. He drove up from Germany, and so I ended up hitching a ride with him. But he was in the opposite direction of Germany of where I was ultimately trying to go, so I ended up in Leipzig at like 2 in the morning, got a hotel, got it the next morning, got on a train, took the train across Germany to Cologne, walked out of the Cologne train station and saw this. If you've never been in an actual full-on proper Gothic cathedral, there is no way to actually describe what they're like. Pictures genuinely cannot capture the magnitude of a Gothic cathedral. You walk into them and there's just this moment of, oh. House of God. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, they're absolutely stunning. And the one in Cologne was one of the more detailed ones that I've ever seen. I think the only one that I've been to that was more ornate than that one was the Duomo in Milan. And the real difference is that the Duomo is white. It looks like it's made out of white marble. It's absolutely incredible. got back on the train, and what was supposed to be a 2-hour train trip took 4.5 hours. At one point, the train track was on fire, a train broke down, the train was delayed, the conductor had to take a nap. Ended up taking another train. Finally got to where we were going. Again, hosted by a wonderful, wonderful couple and with their kids, and got to do some sightseeing. Saw some cool stuff. Saw a, I believe it was Rheinfeld Castle? Question mark? Got to go through tunnels and passageways and just parapets and walls, and it was just cool. Pictures, more pictures. Very, very cool. Also picked up a couple of nifty items in Germany. I got a knockoff Sweet Revenge, short-barreled, so it takes half darts. Very cool, like that flame pattern. See if I do plan to see if it can be upgraded a little bit. Picked up this, which is a combination squirt gun hammer primed single shot blaster. Squirt, squirt, squirt. So that's nifty. Great for cosplay, I'm told. That is probably what I'll end up using it for. It's obviously frighteningly realistic profile in bright colors, not so bad, but good for certain cosplays. So that is pretty cool. I got patches from Sir Scorp, who was the one who was hosting me. One that says "You shoot it, you pick it up," and then his logo. Darts with his logo on it. I also met up with another fan who had some 3D printed parts. That is where this came from. There's a short-barreled version and a long-barreled version for the Sweet Revenge, which just does not get enough love. There's more than enough attachments and barrels and whatnot for the hammer shot, but not enough for the Sweet Revenge. So I will give a video on that with all of the links for that in the near future. What else was I did? Oh, shirts! Sir Scorp makes shirts, and so he made this shirt for me, which has my logo on the sleeve, which is just super, super cool. And I've got some more shirts. I got 5 shirts from him. I did, in fact, get a "You shoot it, you pick it up" shirt. I'll definitely be wearing that to events where I am marshalling. I got a blasted shirt with Captain Xavier on it, and again, logo on the sleeve. Super cool. The logos on the sleeve is just a cool touch. I got a Sir Scorp logo shirt. Sir Scorp Dart Blaster. Very, very cool. And last but not least, this one, which has accuracy, dart speed, rate of fire, pick 2. And naturally people will argue that I believe there should be a 4th option, which would be cost, and then you pick 3. I think that would solve the use cases that this particular one leaves out. This also has my logo on the sleeve. Super, super cool. So that was Germany. I then went to Frankfurt Airport, took the train down to Frankfurt Airport, and took a plane to Dublin for the second time. There were some delays, but I eventually managed to get to Bristol, England, where FoamFest was taking place. Luckily, the delays meant that the auxiliary from Scotland, who were going to be getting there several hours after I arrived because of how long I was delayed, they got there pretty much the same time and were able to pick me up from the airport, and everything went... All of the transportation went absolutely swimmingly and smooth. I cannot begin to thank the Spectre and Joker for all of the efforts they put in for transportation, driving, and all of that was absolutely amazing. So that was cool. FoamFest then happened. There was nerfing the next day, and again, an airsoft arena. This time in England, there were tanks. They had tanks all over the place. And so, here's some footage from that, I hope. Did I get footage? I might have gotten footage.
Oh, there they are. And now there's one in that corner. It's really got us pinned.
Yeah. Is it just the one?
I think, well, there's one in that. All right, we need to do that, and then we need someone to push when they do it.
Blaster time chat behind the wall.
Behind the wall. We'll give covering fire if you move. Let's push up, push up. We got a couple still up in that tower, but we should definitely push. Covering! Push, push! Push! Keep pushing, come on, let's go!
We did the same scenario of attack and defend, and this time we held for 40 minutes when we were on the defense, and we wiped them out in about 10. It was an absolute brutal slaughter the second round. We just bulldozed them. It was beautiful. I think it might have been that it was towards the end of the day and some of their team had dropped off, but still it was impressive how quickly we took the first locations. So that was pretty neat. There was more loot. I got some official FoamFest darts. That's pretty snazzy. I got some... I think this was given to me at FoamFest, so it might have been earlier. This is K26, but it's Dutch manufactured K26. They are made to the same specifications. But they didn't have any actual K26 to test it against, so I'll be doing some experiments with these versus the official K26, the McMaster Car K26. I received one very snazzy brass barrel. This is the heaviest brass barrel I've ever seen. It's custom made, custom milled. It's designed for either Caliburns or the Swift. I'll be probably putting it into one of my Swifts. There'll be a whole video on that with all the information on that. This was from a European distributor of a lot of stuff coming out of Hong Kong, or out of Singapore, I think. Singapore? I think Singapore. That wasn't available otherwise, and so they were a distributor for that. They were right next to me at FoamFest, so that is super cool. I look forward to testing that. I did get some patches. I have another blaster time, this one with FoamFest 2020. It didn't happen. I was going to be there for 2020, we all were. I got a FoamFest patch. I got a Frontline Foam patch. I got Archer's patch. The founder of Women in Nerf. Was a genuinely wonderful, wonderful person. I got to spend a lot more time with her, and it was really cool to get to know her. So, yeah, got her patch. There was another Nerf war after FoamFest at a place called The Foundry. I got their patch, and it was a CQB airsoft arena in an old factory, which was one of the coolest sites I have ever nerfed at. I do have some footage of that.
So this is The Foundry. It's a old factory that they've turned into a massive CQB arena. There's one right around this corner. Red coming up.
We're standing there, so. I'm sure
What do we got?
facing our way.
One in there, one in there.
I'm out of grenades.
How long? Up, one second up. One in there, one in there.
Okay.
Someone behind the window. Oh yeah.
Grenade. It did not go off, no.
So I still clear out of the room.
Did I? I did?
Yeah,
Okay.
that bounced.
They also did an HVZ there, but it was different than any HVZ I've ever done. This one was called Pinger HVZ. I'm sure other people have played it, but I had never played it before. And that was where all of the players are given a timer that has had the clock blanked out with tape. And you all disperse around the field, and if your timer goes off, you're a zombie. So you have no idea who the zombies are going to be until it's way too late. Very confined space. The zombies have a 5-second stun time and are then immune for 5 seconds. So there is no holding ground, there is no bunkering, you just have to run. And there isn't enough room to really team up. And so it really becomes a free-for-all. The first 2 rounds we played, I got tagged from behind because I wasn't covering my back.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
I have you behind us.
Affordable health.
1, 2,
1,
3,
2,
4, 5.
The third time I managed to do something that apparently has never been done before, I actually survived. It's typically played until everyone's wiped out, and it usually doesn't take very long. Turns out there is a timer, but no one's ever lasted the whole timer, and I managed to do it by using one of my grenades. I waited until the whole horror, I was the last one. I'd fought my way through, I had moved, I had booked it, I had checked my corners, I had cleared stuff. I kept moving, moving away from where the noise was and all of that, and finally got cornered, the whole horde's coming in, and I detonate the grenade against the wall. I assumed that you got blown up by your own grenade, but apparently they very specifically have a no friendly fire rule for Pinger HVZ, and so when I detonated the grenade, all of the zombies in the room were now stunned, and then the timer went off. And so it was declared that I had been the first person to ever survive Pinger HVZ at the Foundry, which is pretty cool. I still argue that I was blown up, and while I didn't turn into a zombie, I was mints on the walls. But I'll take the win. The final patch that I got, and this one I'm going to actually get in close because this one is super cool. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with Fancy Pants Nerf. They make silly patches. Well, behold! Captain Pants! That is so cool. It's got my logo in the background and my beard and everything. That one's going on my gear. Right, what else do I have? I have one final bit of... Well, actually, I've got a few more bits of loot. I was given a Lego minifigure. that apparently is only available in the London Lego store, which is currently closed down, and I was given... I'm not actually sure what it is. It has to do with... Oh, it's a D&D adventure set on the Discworld. An AD&D adventure. So, like, THACO level, like from the 80s. Which is just super cool. There is, in fact, a note. Dear Captain Xavier, if you're reading this, then you made it to Foam Fest, I made it to Foam Fest, and I managed to hand you this at Foam Fest. A feat that has been 2 years in the making. Enclosed is the, and I'm going to butcher this name, I think it's Leicester? Might be Leicester. Mini, Lego minifigure, which I believe I promised you back in 2020 is exclusively available in the London Lego store. In Leicester something Square, which is sadly currently closed for a refit. Anyway, the plan was to bring him to Foam Fest 2020, but, well, plague. So I planned to send him on your birthday, but couldn't get to the post office because of, well, plague. But that was okay. I bring him Foam Fest 2021, plague. So anyway, you have him now, so all is good. Enclosed is a Discworld D&D thing that I have had for many a year, 1980 something, and figured you might enjoy it or know someone who would. I will definitely enjoy it. That is going on my wall. I would like to say thank you for all you do for the community, keeping things fun and informed. My entire family love your videos, and they always make us smile. Hope you have a good time at Foam Fest 2022. Chris Smith, aka Hwindlepoons. I got to meet Hwindlepoons, and he looks exactly like you think someone who goes by the name Hwindlepoons would look. It was amazing. Very, very cool. Got to meet him and his family. They were wonderful, lovely people. I got to meet a lot of wonderful people who apparently not many people knew I was going to be there. It was announced and everything, but I didn't make a big enough deal about it apparently. And so a lot of people would look over and meet me and they're like, "What? You're here? Oh, I've always wanted to meet you." It was really cool. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I then went up to Scotland, had some good food, got on a plane in Glasgow, went back to Dublin for the 3rd time, and finally flew home. And yeah, now I get to process all of this. I'm still trying to process the trip. It was absolutely amazing. I've said it before, and I will say it many times again. I absolutely cannot thank all of the people that helped make this possible enough. There were so many people that were involved in this trip, and it absolutely would not have happened without them. The people who arranged for transport, housing, helped me figure out where I should go, the people who put together the schedule. I could list names for probably about 10 minutes. You know who you are. You know you are absolutely awesome and that this could not have happened without you. So many wonderful, wonderful people that I got to meet, places I got to see, things I got to do that I would never have gone to or seen or done otherwise. I'm sure I'm forgetting all kinds of stuff. And if I did, I'm sorry. Feel free to mention it down in the comments and I'll go, "Oh yeah, that was amazing, thank you so much." We're already looking towards next year. The day that I left, I got an email from someone in France offering Crash Space, but I didn't go anywhere near France this trip. But I definitely want to go back to France, and so I'm seriously considering next year doing only 1 week in Europe for Foam Fest, doing France and possibly Switzerland, and then Foam Fest. And then for my other week of vacation, going to Australia. So that would be an awesome pair of trips. We'll have to figure out all the details for that. But yeah, an absolutely amazing trip. I haven't been to Europe since I think 2006 was the last time I was there. And I didn't go to any of these countries. One country that I didn't mention was Wales. We did in fact swing into Wales very briefly because of like a 15-minute drive from where we were in England, in Bristol. So we drove over to Wales really quick just so I could shoot a dart at one of the Scots so I could claim I had nerfed in Wales and claim their flag because it's got a dragon on it, and dragons are cool. I never did remember to throw a dart at someone in Ireland. I didn't want to, get in trouble for throwing stuff at people and get deported. Did do a very brief bit of nerfing in Scotland. Oh, I was also given a blaster in Scotland. The European exclusive Strife, which has also been waiting since 2020. And I didn't know that it had this stock, which is in black, because I recently painted one of these stocks. So I would have it in black, and it turns out that's just a thing, and I could have waited a couple of weeks. Same thing with this. I've painted one of these orange and black, so it'll be my colors, and turns out, well, here it is. The barrel is blue and orange, which matches. So yeah, now I have all of the different Strife variants that have existed, and that is pretty cool. So there it is. It was a wonderful trip. Absolutely exhausting. It was 100 degrees in Germany. They had a heat wave. It cooled off by the time we got to England, but it was still warm. And then Scotland was mercifully cool by my standards. Apparently, it was still oppressively hot by Scottish standards. But it was a lot of fun. Wonderful, wonderful trip. Now I get to go edit this video, toss in pictures, toss in video footage. It's going to take me forever to edit this. I'm hoping I will have it done for Monday. I make no promises. No promises. I'm now a week behind on videos. Actually, more than a week behind on videos. But I got a lot of my reviews done, but I got more stuff to review. More stuff showed up while I was gone. Life! Alright. I've blathered. I'm gonna go have, here, look, cold drink, ice water. And then I'm gonna edit this film. So, again, my thanks to everyone who made this trip possible. And my thanks to you guys for watching.